What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Zoids vs. III! So after a successful airstrike, we now have entered the base, and we're going to be doing so with my favorite Zoid of all time. That's right, we now have the Blade Liger, which I guess in this game is not the best Zoid really you can use, because it has been significantly nerfed. Not that it was the best Zoid by a mile in the previous game, but it was still really good. I'm not going to be equipping missiles on, I really don't need them. I got to make sure I trade out the shields for the booster. In the anime, of course, we could use both, the anime, they used both the boosters and the shields at the same time. Unfortunately, we have to give and take in this game. We're going to leave it with the stock blue there, and we're going to have the attack boosters on it. So, if you guys don't know, since the previous game, I've purchased a Kotobukiya high-end master model of this Blade Liger with the attack boosters, because I love it so much, in addition to my original Takara Tomy one, which does not have attack boosters. And I love it to death. So we're up against the Geno Breaker, which is a perfectly appropriate opponent for the Blade Liger, and two Saber Tigers. Unfortunately, though, well, actually, quite fortunately, we do not have to destroy the Geno Breaker, as it is very tough. It's unusually tough for a Geno Breaker, probably because this is campaign rules, not tournament mode rules. So we just have to destroy the two Saber Tigers, which is actually pretty easy. The reason why the Blade Liger has been nerfed in this game, as I've established with previous Zoids in this game, much like the Rev Raptor, is the blades have a limited ammo count. It only has 100 shots, and it runs out as you have the blade power activated, so you can't just hold it down forever and expect it to last. That being said, the attack boosters are still very good. The blades still deal a crap ton of damage. We can easily dispatch these frail Saber Tigers with ease. We could probably take the Geno Breaker if we had to, but I believe this is just supposed to be a show of power, and we're actually... There's a mysterious pilot piloting the Geno Breaker, who we're going to be introduced to here in a second. So, yeah, love the Blade Liger to death. It is immensely powerful. It's a little on the sluggish side, though. Maybe that's just this game, or maybe it was always that way. Or maybe I've always gotten used to using really fast Zoids. It's much faster with the attack boosters, of course, but or with boosters in general. The attack boosters are not really used as boosters in this game, but in the actual Zoids continuity, there's that mysterious pilot there. I guess we're going to finally meet them. I have no idea what's going on in the context of the story here, other than that they were piloting the Geno Breaker, and now we have the Geno Breaker for ourselves now we've completed this mission. So we're moving on to the inner city now, and I'm going to continue to use the Blade Liger for this mission. But I'm going to personalize a little bit there. We've got some new subparts we can equip. Yeah, according to the stats on the model kits, though, they state that the attack boosters make the Blade Liger immensely more quick. But obviously we can't use them as boosters here in the game, they're just weapons. So there's a few new colors there's one new color for the Blade Liger in this game than there was in Battle Legends. There's that gray color there, as seen in Zoids Fusers. I'm going to be using this black and blue color. That looks really cool. I've never demonstrated that before on screen. As you guys know, I specialize in the Blade Liger Mirage in the previous game, and I also use the high-end Blade Liger, the red one, the one that Leon has. Of course, you have to manually buy attack boosters for that. So, in this fight, this is a very tough fight, probably the toughest fight in the campaign so far, that I've not just sort of taken the easy way out and used the Race Tiger for. This is a heavyweight fight. We're up against a special Sea Striker, a special Aerosaur, and the special Gojless Giga. This is a very tough fight, and we've got to be quick on our toes here and quickly dispatch the other two weak Zoids with our blades. So that we can redirect our focus on the Gojless Giga, which is pretty easy to take out these guys. But if we get melee attacked by this thing, or if we get hit by the Buster Eagle Cannon, we are done for. So we've got to be quick on our feet here. Like I said, I could just take the easy way out and use the Race Tiger for this, but obviously I want to demonstrate the Blade Liger since it's my favorite Zoid. Demonstrate that this game can still give me a challenge despite the fact that I completely dominated in Battle Legends. This game can still provide quite a challenge even with a Zoid I'm very familiar with. Alright, we took the other two Zoids down. We're very low on health. We may not be able to take this guy out. We'll see. One thing you got to be very careful of is, like all boss Zoids, or actually every Zoid in this game, the AI, you only really notice it with the bosses though, but every Zoid, the way the AI works is they constantly cycle their weapons. He has missiles, he has his tail attack there, and he has the Buster Eagle Cannon. So you've got to watch very carefully for when he cycles to the Buster Eagle cannon, he's not pointing in your general direction, because if he fires at you, I do not have enough health to survive that thing. It is a very, very powerful weapon, as I've demonstrated in the past. There's also that very tough fight in the tournament mode in Battle Legends with the Gojo's Giga, where I was trying to use the lightning spikes, and that cannon was just the death of me every time. Also trying to do ridiculous strafing runs in this thing back then, and it's a little more easier to dodge right now, just because if I'm not facing directly at it when it fires it, I can be okay. Ooh, this is close. If I didn't get out of the way from that tail attack, I would have been done for. But thankfully the missiles are not nearly as much trouble this time around, because we have more, they tend to go around us. Now we just need to use the attack boosters. The attack boosters are good in this game for homing in, because as I said, all homing projectiles are pretty good in this game. But for some reason I have a much harder time hitting my mark with the attack boosters than I did back in Battle Legends. I think it's because I've just, quite frankly, gotten rusty with the Blade Liger. I haven't used it in this game up until this point. I didn't use it in the tournament mode. And it's been a while since I played Battle Legends, so all my test playing has been with other types of Zoids with more concentrated beam weapons, and so the attack boosters I'm just kind of rusty with, and I still think they're great weapons. This Gojo's Giga has an immense amount of health, like 4,500 I think, something ridiculous like that. It's even more powerful than the standard Gojo's Giga, which is already a borderline boss Zoid as it is. So, this, I believe it's being piloted by the guy from Zoids VS III who has the Gojo's Giga, so it's his special Zoid. I think the other two Zoids are part of his team, and we're in an enclosed arena right now, so this is a very dangerous environment, very close quarters. I could try to use the blades of him, but unfortunately I think he's going to use his melee attack first, and I don't want to take any chances. Like, if I had more time to get some damage on him, one of my strategies early on in the fight is to kind of run around them in circles, not locked onto an enemy, so I can have a greater range of quick turning and movement, and just slash them all up with the blades really quick. That can allow you to get some good damage on the Gojo's Giga and stagger it, but really I just wanted to get the other Zoids out of the way so nothing else could be hitting me and doing damage while I'm trying to take this thing out. Whew. Oh man, that was a tough fight. And that was a battle of attrition, that's for sure. Yeah, that fight was definitely the end of me during the test play. That ended a lot of good runs there. But I managed to do it on the first try this time around, so yay me. Alright, more dialogue here. Looks like we're back at that canyon map there at night. We're going to be going up against these guys, and it's another 3 Zoid fight with a pseudo-boss as the, well, boss. Even though this one is a proper boss, so I'm not taking any chances with this one. I'm actually going to pull out the Race Tiger again for this one, just to make this one easier. Originally, I couldn't remember from my first test run, when I test played this the second time, if I had to kill all the Zoids in this encounter, or just one of them, or a certain particular combination of them. It's all 3. Yeah, it's all 3. So I'm not taking any chances. I'm just bringing the Race Tiger back out again. We're going to equip it with all of our best subparts. Man, I cannot overstate how obscenely overpowered the Race Tiger is compared to everything else we have right now. That 3,100 health and weapons that powerful. Alright, so our enemies today are the Killer Spiner, which is a very powerful Zoid, a custom attack cat with cloaking, and the hideous pink Death Stinger. Oh my god! So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. And we have to kill all 3 of them. Fighting the Death Stinger on its own is a chore, yet along with another Zoid, or 2 other Zoids with it, especially when these are pretty high tier Zoids. Thankfully, the Race Tiger, as I said, is completely broken, and its laser nut should easily be able to dispatch the Killer Spiner. The Killer Spiner is a Zoid from Zoids VS III. It's another dinosaur type Zoid. It's that whatever that thing was in Jurassic Park 3 with the fin on its back. I think that's what it is. It's pretty cool. It has a lot of variety for weapons and movement, and I will actually be demonstrating it later in the game, so you guys will get to see it in action. I'm not especially fond of it. I never used it really in Battle Legends, but it's definitely better than I thought it was. I just think it's a little bit overpriced. Let's give me our first target, and then if I can, I'm going to try to go after the Hellcat. but I may not be able to target it for very long because of the nature of it. I'm not worried about any of the Hellcat's weapons though. It's a little aggravating. Where are you going, dude? You're leaving the map. Come back here. I'm gonna be. Watch this. Yep, sure enough, I'm leaving the battlefield trying to catch this bastard. So time to head back and avoid the Death Stinger while we're at it. Yeah, thankfully this thing does not have a lot of health though. It has like 1400 health. So that's pretty easy. But whenever it goes invisible, I can't target it, so I have to refocus my attention on the Death Stinger, which has 7,000 health. So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, dodging the Death Stinger's attacks while focusing on other Zoids, though, is quite a challenge. But, again, nothing that's out of the ordinary for the Race Tiger. The only other Zoid I would have had even a chance with in this was maybe the Lightning Sykes because of its speed and how, much practice I've had with it. But at the same time, I tried it with the Lightning Sykes, and trying to defeat the Death Stinger first is obviously the best way to go. But even then, I just could not bring the thing down in the time that it took for the other Zoids to kill me. I'm really getting actually quite beat up here. This is not going nearly as well as I wish it would. I don't know what's up with the AI in this game, but the Killer Spider seems to want to just leave the battlefield for some reason, which we're not going to allow that to happen. Huh, the Death Stinger finally used its charged particle beam. Alright, yeah, that Hellcat was a joke. So now on to the main threat. Even though we have no other targets, we can take it out pretty much effortlessly. Sadly, I only have a few rounds left for the laser nest. Now, the one thing about bosses that I've noticed when it comes to the Race Tiger is the laser nest causes a stunning effect after almost every single shot. It's because of its, electrically charged rounds and the amount of damage that it does. So it's prone to electrocute and stagger the Zoid after every shot. So we got to be careful not to fire it too rapidly in succession, otherwise our subsequent shots will not deal any damage. So we got to wait for the Zoid to recover if it goes into that animation, and then fire another shot afterward. So a lot of very particular timing is involved with the Race Tiger, so it's not completely just, you understand how to use it right out of the gate. There is definitely some practice that needs to be had with it, that's for sure. But I'm about to run out of ammo for the laser nest. That's the one thing that does balance it out, is the fact that it doesn't have an obscene amount of ammo. So the pinpoint laser cannon is going to be the next, which I think are the two cannons in each of its shoulders. That's going to be the next weapon I'm going to use. And they definitely seem very effective, just not quite as much as the laser nest. Only doing about maybe 200 damage, 150, 200 damage per shot. And they have just a lot more ammo though. Each time you fire, it fires 6 rounds out. But it's got like several hundreds. I think it starts with like 500 rounds, so we're pretty good. That Stinger is almost down. This could still go either way with the amount of health I have right now, but I'm not really remotely worried about it. I definitely like the spread that has, even though I'm obviously doing a lot more damage by having every concentrated shot hit it. So I'm going to use the 3-shot cannon there to finally finish it off. That's another good weapon. It's just a lot more basic than the other two, but it has plenty of ammo and does deal more damage than your standard shot cannon. Alright, we're finally done with that. Now our next mission is going to be, I think we've moved on from that conflict with those guys, and we're going to be moving on to intercepting a hover cargo, which is new. We've never intercepted a hover cargo before, we only protect them. So that's definitely a new feature for this game. And protecting it is the Storm Tyrant, which is basically a, actually no, yeah it is, it's the Storm Tyrant, which is basically the Berserk Fury with different weapons on it. And we're going to be having a dinosaur-on-dinosaur fight here with the Geno Breaker. We're going to be showing that you can't beat the original. The original sometimes is always better. Just like the T-Rex in Jurassic World. Alright, let's take this thing for a spin. As much as I like the Genosaur better, it's definitely going to be nice to demonstrate this thing again. Only equipped with a few weapons. This is mainly going to be a brawler's melee fight. There will be some flying Zoids in this encounter as well. I think it's some Zabats, and we'll be able to take them out with the weapon binder. shouldn't pose much of a threat.